Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to ask the question, where have all the good women gone? And this is a really difficult subject, and I'm going to have to do the video in a kind of really brutal and honest way. But let me say a few things before I get started, and it's related. First of all, there's no way that they'll significantly monetize this video. 80-90% of the advertisers will be able to say, hey, I don't want my ads to show up on anything controversial, that deals with controversial social subjects, right? So we can thank women for that, all right? Men's voices, even out here in the public, you're not allowed to make any money off of that. You're not allowed to be heard. That's hate speech, okay? So when I say, where have all the good women gone, just keep in mind 2 points before I even get started. One, I'm a bad man. Straight up, simple, and I'm not. I guarantee, well, I don't think I am, but I am because I'm a man and I'm here and I'm speaking out. And I want to tell the truth, so this is going to be a tough video. That's point one, before we even get started. Let me also say that, where have all the good women gone implies that they're not all good and great women, right? So I've offended all of the women, okay? And that should tell you something, okay? That they can't take criticism. And I've offended 75-80% of the men who want to get together with the women, who think that the way to get together with the women is to give them moral passes on anything they do, right? To not call them on any of their behavior. And that's a sub point before I get started. Oh, well, I've forgotten my other sub point, but I'm sure it'll come back to me. Okay, let's get started. Long intro, right? Sorry about that. Where have all the good women gone? Now, some of you are hearing that and you're laughing. Large part of my audience, because you're saying, Howard, there's no such thing as a good woman. There's only various circumstances under which a woman will act, true to her nature, which is to say that if there's very few men around and there's very little resources around, women are going to be real nice towards men. But if there's a lot of men around and there's plenty of resources around, like there are nowadays, women are going to treat men like monsters, like they are the enemy. Okay? It's a hell of a thing. It really is, to grow up in a society where you are the demon, where you are the one that everybody hates, and yet you are the one that everybody expects to take the real physical dangerous sacrifices and do the serious work. It's a hell of a thing. You know what I mean? To be hated and then to be relied upon in the same situation. And respectfully, a lot of you men hearing this, younger men and guys who've kind of gone down a female path, you don't really understand this. Okay? You've got to be considerably healthy to be put into this role. Like, you have to be physically intimidated. You have to be physically impressive and intimidating, and you have to be a really, decent guy at the same time. So you have to have those qualities. It's not something that all men are going to have, right? In other words, you really have to have all those masculine skills that they want to take advantage of. See what I mean? You can't be another guy in the office, in the group. It doesn't work quite that way. Pardon me, and I'm sorry. In other words, you're not being held off of the football team because you're so awesome. You're being held off the football team because you really never learned how to play football. So it's a hell of a thing to be biologically, psychologically, socially adapted to engage in one sort of behavior and to do a certain, set of things, and to be demonized for doing it. And I mean being a man. I mean being a leader, being a strong man. Being a capable, effective, strong man for working in reality. Not getting along with other people. Not kissing the ass of mediocre people and, mediocre jobs. But finding the things in this world that you have a talent for, that you care about, and then committing to them strongly and putting the other concerns aside, like a man would do, right? Now, consider also that even putting men and women together in the workplace and then saying, oh, I don't know if we're going to let you get ahead based on your performance on the job, or if we're going to have you getting ahead based on how well people like you and how well you get along with people, okay? Because if you make it the latter, if you say we're going to let you get ahead in the workplace based on how many people like you and how well you get ahead, you've just cheated the men out of their jobs. Oh, that's no big deal. It's a big deal. I mean, that's what's going on here, really, all right, is that the men have been cheated out of their hunting grounds, out of the area where they get their food, because men and women are the same, right? So it's not. I mean, they're not at all. And we've put the women into this environment, and it's undercut the men, because the men won't compete with the women, right? And the women are hearing this, and they're all thinking, that's right, because they can't compete, because no, men won't compete with a woman. A real man will capitulate to a woman. I don't mean to say it quite like that, but there's no argument, all right? If you start to cry, I'll stop fighting. If you accuse, and women know this, okay, women know this. It's only the ones who get so crazy that they forget that they were originally empowered and helped by the men that they hate so much. So where have all the good women gone? I'm going to be honest, okay? I never met a good woman in my life. I never met, a woman of any sort of character that I would look up to and be like, yeah, I want to be like her, ever, on anything, with any sort of talent, with any sort of skill. The only thing I've ever seen women be able to do is to flirt and make friends with other people. And it's like, wow, that's impressive. That's it. I've never met a woman whose work habits I've admired, whose work output I've admired, whose stance or values on anything that I've, admired, whose regular habits and conduct I've admired. Never. I've met women that I thought were beautiful. I've met women that I thought were like great genetic material, right? But character-wise, socially, never. And I haven't met very many men like that either, right? But I don't want to, get together with the men. I don't have any sort of physical attraction towards the men, right? It's like, oh, sorry. Where have all the good women gone? There's a lot of illusions out there as to like, who's who, right? Like, men just want to have sex and, women are these great, noble, angelic creatures. It's like, no, men are the ones who build the families, okay? Men are the ones who make the serious sacrifice on the day-to-day basis. What does that tell you? What does that tell you about their character, okay? That on the daily basis, the man is the one who goes out, puts himself in danger, acquires resources, and then gives them to his family. Women won't even do that. Women won't even take care of their own kids. They want the state to take care of them. They want the man to continue to give money over too. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, It's like whatever they can get away with. Oh, I'm sorry. And I'm in a lot of trouble for saying that. Look, it's the truth, okay? It's the truth. And I'm in a lot of trouble for saying it. Where have all the good women gone? Where are the women of character? Where are the women of virtue? I listen to a lot of Stefan Molyneux videos. I like him. I like Jordan Peterson too, even though he said, I don't care what he said about MGTOW. What do I care? He doesn't, and now that he's looked into it a little bit more, he says he regrets calling MGTOW pathetic weasels. It's like, okay, that's fine. That's great. No big deal. So I watch a lot of the Stefan Molyneux videos, and he talks about his wife, and I'm sure that she, no doubt to him, and, is a good woman, I guess. So he says. Right? So I don't doubt that decent women exist, and I don't mean like, women is going to be perfect. I guess they exist. I've never met one. I've never encountered one. And I've only encountered like a handful of men that have these, that have these characteristics. So where have they gone? Right? Well, of course, they were never really here. Their character is just an extension of the circumstances. So if times are hard and desperate, they'll be nice. And if times are easy and plentiful, they're not going to be nice. What does that tell you about their character? What does that tell you about their nature? It suggests that they're merely opportunists, that they don't have real character. They don't develop character. They have their nature. Men develop character, a set of habits that they need in order to deal effectively with reality. Women manipulate. They try to use charm. They try to use emotions to manipulate. That is their language. Like a man looks out at the world and starts thinking, okay, what can I do? What kind of work can I do? A woman looks out at the world and thinks, how do I feel about this? And how do I express those feelings to someone else so that they'll go do something? Seriously. And I don't think that either side is really, I think that the men forget that the women are manipulating them, or they kind of like go along with it and smile about it, because they want to be close to the women. But I sincerely think that the women forget that they're manipulating the men into doing the work, and that the women think that they have these capabilities. And they certainly don't. I mean, some of them can develop the skills needed to do various jobs, but it's like not their nature to become quite good at it. Now, don't confuse success in a particular field with actually being good at it. You could become a very successful architect. You could become a very successful video creator, and you could stink at it. You could have no skills whatsoever, and people could just love you for it. As a matter of fact, don't equate what people like so much with just absolute quality, because McDonald's is the number one selling food in the world, but it's not the best food in the world. As a matter of fact, it's actually quite bad for you, right? So there you go. Lady Gaga sells more music than pretty much everybody else, or pop music sells the most music than any other type of music, right? So all music should be pop music. It's like, no, it's not, and it shouldn't be. It's not oh so popular because it's oh so good. Right? Yeah. So I think we can safely say that in answer to our question, where have all the good women gone, is that we don't really know where they've gone, but they're not around here, and they haven't been for a long, long time. And when I say what is a good woman, I'm talking about a woman that treats a man with respect and dignity and values being in a relationship with him and wants to build a family and wants to basically fulfill her role in the whole human dynamic, right? And those of you who have portrayed this, talking about feminists, socialists, globalists, as a negative thing, you've done that for your own advantage, just to gain stuff, to gain material advantage and power. And it's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate because I know that the men, good men, they can't find good women, right? And the women are empowered to just destroy the men, to tell lies about them, to, put them in court, to put them through family court, to accuse them of crimes, to destroy them socially. And there's this aspect of female nature where that's what women do, right? But, you've got to kind of curtail that. You've got to put some limits on that. It's like, oh my God, he's just said that women are not perfect in every absolute way. So there you go. Understand the very nature of this, that I'm not even allowed to talk about it. And then you'll kind of grasp how desperate the situation is. And if you're the type of young man who has these types of questions, don't worry about it because they'll medicate you. I'm sorry. Don't let them medicate you, but that's what they're going to do. If you're not, so, okay, I don't want to go too far into that because it's a little too dark. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that for now. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.